You know how we all love the idea of having lush green plants around, until you realize you forgot to water them again? Yeah, we've all been there. But don't worry, today's video is about the plant world's ultimate survivors, the ones that practically thrive on neglect. We're talking tough, drought-tolerant indoor plants that look amazing even when your watering can's collecting dust. These guys can handle a little forgetfulness, a dry apartment, or that sunny windowsill you swear you'll miss tomorrow. Whether you're traveling, busy, or just a little lazy, no judgment, these low-water houseplants are your new best friends. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's meet the plants that don't mind a little dry spell, because, honestly, they get it. First up, we've got the Monstera. You know, that big leaf beauty that instantly makes any space look like a tropical Airbnb. What most people don't realize is how low maintenance this plant really is when it comes to water. Monsteras actually prefer their soil to dry out between waterings. We're talking about once every 10 to 14 days for most indoor setups. Overwatering is one of the easiest ways to hurt it, so less really is more here. Its thick, glossy leaves are designed to retain moisture, and those natural holes, or fenestrations, help it adapt to drier air by reducing how much water it loses. It's basically nature's built-in water saver. So if you forget the watering can for a week or two, don't stress. Your Monstera will still be chilling, looking fabulous, and cleaning your air while it's at it. Next up, the tree Philodendron, a plant that looks like it belongs in a rainforest but somehow thrives even when you forget to water it. This one's built tough, with thick stems and big, leathery leaves that store moisture like a pro. In fact, it can go up to 2 weeks without a drink, depending on your home's humidity. Its roots grow deep and strong, allowing it to pull water from lower soil layers, which makes it a champ at surviving dry spells. The cool part? It actually prefers to dry out between waterings. Constantly wet soil can make it sulk or even rot. Plus, with those dramatic, sculptural leaves, it adds a bold, tropical vibe to your room without asking for much in return. If you want a lush, jungle look but don't want to hover with a watering can, the tree Philodendron totally has your back. Now let's talk about the snake plant, the ultimate no-fuss, no-water legend of the indoor jungle. This plant is practically indestructible and famous for surviving weeks, sometimes even a whole month, without water. Its thick, upright leaves act like built-in water tanks, storing moisture to keep it hydrated during long dry spells. That's why it's a go-to for busy people or anyone who tends to forget about their plants. NASA's Clean Air study even gave the snake plant a shout-out for filtering out toxins like formaldehyde and benzene. So it's not just good-looking, it's hard-working too. It can handle low light, dry air, and minimal attention while still looking sharp and sculptural. Honestly, if plants had an award for most chill roommate, the snake plant would win every single time. The ZZ plant is that sleek, glossy green beauty that looks like you've been misting and pampering it every day, when in reality, you've probably forgotten it exists for weeks. This plant is built for survival, storing water in its thick rhizomes underground like little natural reservoirs. That means even if you go 2, sometimes 3 weeks without watering, it just shrugs it off and keeps thriving. It's also incredibly tolerant of low light and dry air, making it perfect for offices or dim corners of your home. In fact, studies show it can handle humidity levels as low as 30% without any drama. Plus, its shiny leaves naturally repel dust, so it always looks clean and polished. If you want a plant that basically lives on autopilot but still gives luxury vibes, the ZZ plant is your new favorite roommate. The Cordyline is that tropical stunner that looks like it demands constant care, but surprise, it's actually one of the toughest drought-tolerant indoor plants out there. Its long, colorful leaves have a waxy coating that helps lock in moisture, meaning it can easily handle being watered just once every couple of weeks. In its native Pacific and Southeast Asian habitats, Cordyline often grows in dry, rocky soil, so it's built to store water and survive through long dry spells. Indoors, it thrives even when you forget to water it, as long as you give it bright, indirect light. It's also been shown to handle indoor humidity dips without curling or browning, something many tropicals can't pull off. And honestly, those striking pink, red, or green leaves make it look like a high-maintenance diva, but it's more like that chill friend who never complains and still shows up looking amazing. The Variegated Monstera is like the stylish cousin of the regular Monstera, rare, dramatic, and effortlessly cool. But despite those fancy white and green marbled leaves, it's just as drought-tolerant and low-maintenance. This plant actually prefers its soil to dry out between waterings, and too much water can fade its gorgeous variegation or cause root rot. It's adapted to store moisture in its thick stems and aerial roots, allowing it to handle dry indoor conditions like a pro. In most homes, watering every 10 to 14 days is plenty, and it'll still keep producing those stunning split leaves. Plus, the lighter parts of the leaves reflect more sunlight, which helps it use light efficiently even when it's not getting much water. So while it looks like something straight out of a plant collector's dream, the Variegated Monstera is surprisingly chill, thriving on patience, bright light, and a little tough love. The fiddle leaf fig might look like a diva with those big, glossy violin-shaped leaves, but when it comes to water, it's actually more low-key than people think. This plant doesn't like soggy soil at all. In fact, too much water is the #1 reason people kill it. Its thick, leathery leaves and strong root system help it hold moisture, so watering every 10 to 14 days is usually perfect. Native to the tropics of West Africa, it's used to heavy rain followed by long dry stretches, which is why it thrives on a soak and dry routine. Studies have shown it can handle indoor humidity levels as low as 40% without stress, which makes it pretty resilient for something that looks so high maintenance. Plus, it's a natural air purifier and instantly adds that designer touch to any room. So, while it may look like the diva of houseplants, the fiddle leaf fig is actually more of a minimalist, less water, more style. The jade plant is basically the poster child for drought-tolerant houseplants, tough, compact, and always looking fresh even when you forget about it. This little succulent stores water in its thick, fleshy leaves, which act like built-in canteens, allowing it to go 3 to 4 weeks without a sip. Native to arid regions of South Africa, it's evolved to survive long dry spells and bounce right back after watering. Indoors, it actually thrives when the soil dries out completely between waterings, and too much water can do more harm than good. What's cool is that research has shown succulents like jade can retain up to 90% of their water content even in dry air. Talk about resilience. Plus, with its tree-like shape and shiny green leaves, it's not just a survivor, it's a showpiece. Low effort, high reward, the jade plant is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it beauty for busy plant lovers. The rubber plant is that bold, glossy leaf statement piece that somehow manages to look lush without needing much water at all. Its thick, rubbery leaves aren't just for show, they actually store moisture, helping the plant survive dry spells like a champ. Native to parts of India and Southeast Asia, the rubber plant has adapted to handle seasonal droughts by slowing its water use and conserving energy. Indoors, it's happiest when you water it every 10 to 14 days, letting the top few inches of soil dry completely before the next round. Overwatering can make it sulk fast, but underwatering? It barely notices. Studies have shown that plants with thicker leaf cuticles, like the rubber plant, lose water 60% slower than thin-leaved species, so it's built for the long haul. Add in the fact that it filters toxins from the air and thrives in average home humidity, and you've got one seriously low-maintenance beauty that makes any room feel instantly more alive. The Peepal Bonsai, also known as the sacred fig, is a surprisingly resilient little tree that can handle dry indoor conditions far better than most bonsai varieties. Its thick, heart-shaped leaves are designed to minimize water loss, and its woody trunk stores moisture to help it survive long gaps between watering. In fact, a healthy Peepal Bonsai can go up to 2 weeks without a drink, depending on the temperature and light levels. Originating from the Indian subcontinent, it's naturally adapted to hot, dry climates where rain can be unpredictable, so a little drought doesn't bother it at all. Indoors, it loves bright, indirect light and appreciates being left alone to dry out a bit before the next watering. What makes it stand out is how steady and strong it stays even in low humidity, keeping that elegant, sculptural look that bonsai fans love. It's living proof that beauty and toughness can go hand in hand, a tiny tree with ancient roots and modern low-maintenance charm. The money tree is one of those plants that looks fancy but is secretly one of the easiest to care for, especially when it comes to water. Its thick, braided trunk isn't just for looks, it actually stores moisture, allowing the plant to stay hydrated for up to 2 weeks without a drink. Native to Central and South America, the money tree evolved to handle periods of drought followed by heavy rain, so it thrives on a soak and dry watering routine. Indoors, it's happiest when you let the top few inches of soil dry out completely before giving it another go. Overwatering is its biggest enemy, but a little neglect? Totally fine. Fun fact, a NASA study found that the money tree helps remove harmful toxins like benzene and formaldehyde from the air, making it both low maintenance and good for your home's air quality. Plus, With that symbol of good luck and prosperity tied to it, you're not just growing a plant, you're growing good vibes with very little effort. The Adenium, often called the desert rose, is a true showstopper that proves you don't need to be high maintenance to look stunning. This plant comes from some of the driest regions in Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, so it's built to handle extreme drought like a pro. Its thick, swollen trunk, called a caudex, acts as a water reservoir, allowing it to survive weeks without watering. Indoors, it thrives when watered only every 2 to 3 weeks, and it actually prefers dry soil over soggy roots. In fact, too much water can easily cause rot, so this is one plant where forgetting to water is basically part of the care routine. Despite its tough nature, the Adenium rewards you with vibrant pink or red blooms that look like tropical fireworks. It's living proof that resilience can be beautiful, a desert native that turns scarcity into style, thriving where most other plants would give up. The string of pearls is that quirky, eye-catching succulent that looks delicate but is secretly one of the toughest, most drought-tolerant houseplants around. Each little green bead along its cascading stems is actually a mini water reservoir, storing enough moisture to keep the plant happy for weeks without a single sip. In fact, it can go 3 to 4 weeks between waterings, depending on your home's humidity. Native to the dry plains of Southwest Africa, it's adapted to thrive in arid conditions and uses its round leaves to minimize water loss through evaporation. Indoors, it does best in bright, indirect light and well-draining soil, anything soggy, and it'll protest fast. What's amazing is how it stays plump and lush even in dry air, making it perfect for plant parents who like low-effort greenery with high visual impact. It's proof that sometimes, the best-looking things in your home are also the ones that ask for the least attention. The large Monstera Obliqua is that rare, almost ethereal plant that looks way too delicate to be low maintenance, but surprise, it's actually incredibly drought-tolerant once established. Its thin, lace-like leaves may look fragile, but beneath that beauty is a root system that's built to hold moisture efficiently, allowing it to go 10 to 14 days without watering. Native to the rainforests of Central and South America, the Obliqua is used to periods of heavy rain followed by dry spells, so it's perfectly happy when the soil dries out between waterings. In fact, overwatering is one of the few ways to upset it. It's known to absorb humidity from the air through its aerial roots, which means even if you skip watering for a bit, it still finds a way to hydrate itself. Its slow growth and moisture-saving habits make it one of the easiest rare plants to keep alive, elegant, mysterious, and tougher than it looks. The large Monstera Obliqua is like that graceful friend who thrives quietly without ever demanding too much attention. The air plant is the ultimate minimalist when it comes to watering. It doesn't even need soil, just a little air and the occasional mist. These quirky, sculptural plants absorb moisture and nutrients directly through their leaves using tiny pores called trichomes, which means they can survive weeks without being watered. In their native tropical habitats, they cling to trees and rocks, drawing humidity from the air, so indoors, all they really need is a light misting once a week or a quick soak every couple of weeks. Studies have shown that air plants can retain water for up to 14 days in dry environments, making them perfect for forgetful plant parents. They thrive in bright, indirect light and good airflow, which helps them stay fresh and healthy even with minimal attention. With their alien-like forms and easygoing nature, air plants prove you can have stunning greenery in your space without the mess, soil, or constant watering routine. And there you have it, 15 incredible indoor plants that don't just survive your forgetful watering habits, they thrive on them. From the elegant fiddle leaf fig to the resilient air plant, each one proves that low effort doesn't have to mean low style. These drought-tolerant beauties are perfect for busy people, frequent travelers, or anyone who just wants a little more green without the stress. Remember, sometimes less water really is more love when it comes to your plants. If you enjoyed this list and found your next low-maintenance favorite, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more easy plant care tips, and drop a comment below telling me which plant's living in your home right now, or which one you're bringing home next.